Hello, and welcome to Pet Central Media, a revolutionary media concept designed especially for you. I'm Emma.
And I'm David. And we're here to tell you some exciting news about Pet Central.
The pet care concept, which aims to meet the growing demand for the latest, most popular pet products and world-class professional pet care.
Pet Central creator Dr. Pauline Taylor aims to meet the challenge of this global surge in pet care and pet welfare, at home and abroad.
The whole concept of Pet Central is really to get everything for a pet owner or a pet parent nowadays together under one umbrella. So as vets we can advise people, and if we can't advise them ourselves we can at least direct them to the professional in that area, be it for grooming or for training or what's best at different stages in their life cycle.
Pet Central Media, the complete pet service concept that brings you care from the heart.
Hi, I'm Dr. Pauline Taylor. Welcome to our veterinary question and answers. We have a great question today, especially for Dr. Kurt Verkeis. Dr. Kurt will answer this question.
When we're happy, we do things that we enjoy doing and that we don't strictly have to do, like playing or having a good time. Now, for demonstrative species like dogs, it's really easy to see if they're happy or not because they wag their tail and they play and they do exuberant things. For cats, it's much harder to tell because they spend a lot of their time not doing very much, being asleep or sitting quietly, and they don't do so many of these exuberant behaviours that really show how they're feeling. So we can tell if a cat's happy in two ways. Firstly, if it's not doing the things that cats do when they're scared, such as hiding or unusual behaviours that involve avoiding contact with things that it would normally enjoy. The other way that we can check if a cat is happy is it doing those things that it really enjoys doing? For example, if there's a toy out, will it chase the toy? If you have the laser pointer, will it chase the little red dot? And is the cat engaging in its normal behaviours? So if we have a cat who's withdrawing, or if we have a cat who stops doing those things that she really enjoys, that might be a clue that the cat's not happy. If you have any more questions, whether they're big questions or little questions or interesting questions or boring questions, please post them online and I'll be happy to answer them for you.
Nico, bang!
Bang!
I think it's really important that if you know a storm is happening or something is occurring, that you do have a plan of action, something that you can do before the storm arrives. And this is all about setting up a support system of people around you, of family or friends where your animals can go to, because as we all know, many shelters take people but they don't take the animals with them. So to be able to have a relationship with a shelter or a number of shelters where you know that your pet can go to if needs be, I think is really important. In order to be able to reduce stress for your pet, if it has to be parted from you for a period of time, make sure that your pet has its own crate, sleeping crate, its own bedding, and toys that remind it of home. Also, I think it's important that you put an article of unwashed clothing in with the dog so that the dog still has your scent around it. Having an action plan reduces stress, not just for yourself, but for your animal too. The last thing I would advise you to do is to give the shelter or whoever's going to be looking after your pet a an abundant food supply that your pet is used to eating. When pets go into shelters, normally they're put on a different food, and this can play havoc with their digestive systems. Plus the fact that the pets are going through a lot of anxiety themselves, some can stop eating. So putting in some delicious food, delicious treats that the pet's used to, will hopefully encourage that pet to eat.
Each year in this country, there are 5 million people bitten by dogs. 1 million of those require medical attention, and sometimes those dog bites can be fatal. Despite being known as man's best friend, our dogs can sometimes have a nasty side that can appear with little warning. And when that side does appear, the results are often devastating, especially to younger children. More than 18,000 delivery or municipal workers are injured by dogs every year. Although other injuries, such as strains, do occur, dog bites are by far the most numerous. But it's the attacks on children that seem most horrific to us. And children are a dog's most common victim. Learning how to read a dog's body language can help prevent or avoid an attack. Dogs ready to bite will often have raised hair on their back, show a tense body, and of course growl or bark. Many dog bites are caused by unneutered males roaming the neighborhood trying to stake out a territory. Even seeing which way a dog is leaning can give you a clue as to what he's going to do. Dogs leaning forward are confident and ready to fight. These are the ones to beware of. To avoid dog bites, keep the following in mind. Never approach a dog whose behavior seems odd to you. Keep your eyes downcast. Do not make direct, intimidating eye contact with a potentially aggressive dog. Stand quietly, don't run or yell at the dog. And never attempt to reach over a dog and pat him on the head. This will many times stimulate a bite. And take the time to teach your children about the dangers of trying to pet strange dogs. It just might save their life. On the other side of this issue are millions of dogs that are put to sleep every year because of behavior problems. Frankly, both of these tragedies could be avoided with good knowledge and proper training techniques. I'm Dr. Jim Humphries, reporting.
Welcome back. You're tuned to Pet Central, where vets know best.
Hi, I'm Dr. Pauline Taylor. Welcome to our veterinary question and answers. We have a great question today. Dr. Rianne Kwok is going to give you her answer.
單憑佢嘅坐姿咧係好難斷定咧究竟係咪真係有問題嘅，因為都有好多個可能性嘅。首先咧，可能純粹係一個壞習慣啦，或者隻狗真係純粹係懶，所以先會坐到係咁樣嘅啫。咁亦都有可能咧，如果佢盤骨有問題啦，或者佢個髖關節發育不良，或者係佢個膝頭哥有問題，例如膝頭哥移位、菠蘿蓋移位啦，咁亦都有可能係個尾龍骨痛啦，同埋條尾，甚至係佢個肛門或者肛門線有問題咧，都會令到佢個坐姿唔正常嘅。咁所以最重要咧係要知道你隻動物咧可唔可以坐翻正常嘅位置先。如果佢用翻正常嘅位置坐，佢係會唔舒服嘅，佢係會痛嘅，咁就應該可能真係有問題。最好咧都要揾翻你嘅獸醫去傾翻呢個問題啦。
各位寵物主人，你哋好，我係 Patrick， 佢係 Bunny， 呢度係 Pet Central 嘅寵物諮詢平台，歡迎你哋作出任何嘅提問，有關寵物嘅問題或者醫護上嘅問題，我哋好歡迎解答你嘅問題。
Okay, any card you want? Pick a card. You got a card? Okay. Okay, good boy. Let's see what card you got. Oh, Captain has picked the Ace of Spades. Lemmy would be proud. Good boy, Captain. Okay. You treat for that. Good boy. Right, now, Captain, what you need to do for you now, I want you to say when, okay? I want to shuffle the cards and you say when, okay? Captain, you say when? Say when? Say when? Say when? There we go. Okay, now, Captain, next thing you do, I want you to give the cards a magic tap. The cards a magic tap tap. Good boy, okay, there we go. Now, I want you to sit like a further back, okay? Now, this is the magic sit. This is the best bit. I'm going to pick your card, alright? Okay? Captain, pick your card. Any card you want. Pick your card. Where is it? That one. And let's just show for the camera. The Captain has picked the Ace of Spades. Clever dog. Sit.
We had such a great response with the segment that we filmed with Canine Assistants, and a lot of you wanted to know how the recipients that we interviewed are doing with their dogs now. So I'm back here at Canine Assistants with Jennifer Arnold. The fourth recipient that we interviewed was Allison, who has diabetes. How is she doing?
Allison and Stuart are incredible together. It is absolutely remarkable. Stuart's only problem is that he's still having some trouble overnight alerting to high and low blood sugars. But you know, he falls asleep and he sleeps hard, he's tired. But at school, he's alerting, and during the day, he alerts to her high and low blood sugars perfectly. Now, things weren't easy when they first went home. Sometimes the very sensitive dogs, like Stuart is, very in tune, will develop, you know, peculiar concerns. For example, Stuart became absolutely terrified of ceiling fans. Not something we'd ever seen before. And it didn't take very long to get him over it. But I always have to remind people when they come here, they're getting a dog who has learned to do, you know, 89 to 91 different behaviors on cue. But they're not getting Lassie, and they're not getting a robot. And the more the dog thinks and worries, the more likely there are to be these little issues to work through when you get home.
So there are going to be teething problems potentially when a recipient takes their dog home.
Right.
That's what you expect.
Right, absolutely. And these dogs are still babies. I mean, one of my big things is that we graduate our dogs quite early. I feel very strongly about the depth of the bond that you get when the dog has not yet fully matured when they graduate. But it means I'm sending home young dogs who do naughty things and who develop, you know, fears that have to be dealt with. But the bottom line is we handle that together, and it works because it's worth it.
You're still there at the end of the phone if they need you.
We are so there.
Thank you. I think the work you do is incredible.
Thank you so much.
I wish you future success, and the people who get your dogs are the luckiest people in the world. Thank you so much.
Very sweet. Thank you.
Recent reports of resistant staph infections, or MRSA, in people and even coming from our pets may have many of us wondering, how dangerous could our pets be? What other diseases can our pets carry or perhaps transmit to us? Every day, millions of us hug and kiss our pets. It's part of the bond we share. But unfortunately, sometimes our pets can share their deadly illnesses. Diseases that people get from animals are called zoonotic diseases. Thousands exist, but if you rule out the ones from insects or exotic animals, you're still left with a short list of some very nasty illnesses. Rabies tops the list as the most feared disease connected with our pets. In fact, more than 40,000 people die worldwide each year from this killer.
Bacterial diseases such as leptospirosis can cause serious illness and, in rare cases, death. Parasites are a huge problem. Easily picked up from puppies, these nasty worms are thought to infect more than 10,000 people in the U.S. annually. And although raccoons should never be kept as pets, we do occasionally see them around our homes. Raccoon roundworms have been known to kill people. The good news in all of this is that many of these diseases are completely preventable. As an example, a person dying from rabies is almost unheard of in North America. Strict vaccination protocols have helped to minimize this threat. Follow your mom's advice. Wash your hands. Routine, thorough hand washing minimizes exposure to both bacteria and parasites. The good news is that in all of these zoonotic diseases from our pets, they're still relatively rare and very easy to keep from happening in your family. Be smart, use good personal hygiene, and consult with your family veterinarian. I'm Dr. Jim Humphries reporting.
Number 1, never to shave your pet's fur completely, because sometimes that can form a natural barrier from the sun, and if you shave the fur completely, your pet can get sunburned that way. So I recommend trimming the long fur, leaving the coat having a natural barrier from the sun that way. Number 2, very easily, we shouldn't be bringing your pet out during a very, very hot day, especially during the midday. Try and bring your dog out for a walk during the early morning or late afternoon, where there's still some sunlight, but just a very, very mild sunlight, so your dog and you can enjoy the sunshine without getting heat stroke that way. 3, always provide plenty of water in the house, during the walk, or even after the walk, so that your animal can get hydrated easily during the summertime. Number 4, if it's even too hot in the house, do turn on the air conditioning for your animal, because they need plenty of ventilation during the day and indoors as well. Number 5, instead of going for a run during a hot day, how about bringing your pet out for a swim? This is referring to dogs, obviously, and they will really enjoy the summertime with you if they can go swimming with you, and that can cool down that way as well.
Pets Talk? Stay tuned for that and more on Pet Central.可樂咧係一隻喺南區發現嘅一隻街貓嚟嘅，咁因為嗰一排咧喺南區嗰度咧有好多一個貓虐待嘅事件啦。當佢發現咗阿可樂嘅時候咧，都好擔心可能會係其中一個貓虐待嘅案件嚟嘅。
咁我哋接到義工打電話嚟求助啦。當可樂發現到嘅時候，佢形容俾我哋聽咧，就係話喺個頸部度有一個比較大嘅傷口啦。咁但係傷口嘅形成開頭，我哋未知個狀況有幾嚴重嘅。咁佢即刻帶咗嚟 Pet Central 北角呢邊啦。咁我哋咧幫佢診斷咗，咁啊發現佢個傷口咧雖然係好大喺佢個頸上面，咁但係都係喺表皮上面嘅傷口嚟嘅。我哋幫佢做咗手術啦，咁就將佢個傷口清洗同埋嘗試幫佢連埋嘅。咁暫時佢個傷口都慢慢咁康復緊。咁我哋幫佢驗血嘅時候咧，發現到咧佢係有貧血嘅，咁同埋同一時間咧佢係有貓艾滋病。咁好可惜啦，貓艾滋病咧喺街貓嚟講咧比較常見嘅，唔會即時有性命危險，不過佢康復咧都會相對嚟講比較複雜同埋漫長咯。 咁其實我哋係比較都幾着緊係對於一啲流浪嘅動物嘅一啲嘅權益或者佢哋嘅保障。喺香港其實好多唔同嘅義工同組織團體係做緊一啲咁樣嘅慈善活動，去幫助一啲嘅流浪貓啦，或者流浪嘅犬隻嘅。咁我哋希望可能如果真係有啲咁唔好嘅事發生都好啦，我哋可能希望社會會俾多啲關懷同埋多一啲嘅注意，可以幫助到呢個流浪動物啦。亦都希望同類事件唔會再發生啦。
暫時我哋都見到佢個進展都係良好嘅，佢好肯食嘢啦，佢精神好好啦，咁同埋個傷口都慢慢咁樣細緊㗎啦。咁所以我哋希望只需要多少時間咧，阿可樂咧就可以完全康復㗎啦。
There are many different options that you can use to help you walk or teach your dog. And while there are some great choices out there that you can make to really help in the training process, there are also some really bad ones, and I'm going to be talking about them today. This is called a choke collar. And the reason why it's called a choke collar is it's designed to choke your dog. The premise is that you put this collar on your dog, and if the dog pulls, the collar tightens to the point where it's so painful that in theory, the dog should stop pulling. But what actually happens, a lot of dogs, even with a collar like this on, will continue to pull. When they continue to pull, the collar tightens so much to the extent that it cuts off the dog's air supply. Many dogs have had to go to the veterinarian because their tracheas, i.e. their windpipes, have collapsed when collars like these have been used. And sometimes dogs have actually strangled themselves with collars like these. When owners leave a collar like this on their dogs unsupervised, it gets caught on something, the dog tries to get out of it and will strangle themselves in the process. The best thing to do with this collar is to throw it away. This is known as a pinch collar or prong collar, so called because it has prongs that can dig into your dog's neck. It's the same premise as the choke collar. It doesn't completely choke your dog, but what it does is when the dog pulls, this tightens and the prongs dig into your dog's neck. Because the dog feels discomfort and pain, your dog in theory stops pulling. Again, a lot of dogs that have these kind of collars on will even go through the pain and will hurt themselves. At the end of the day, this prong collar might be slightly better than the choke collar, but you're still causing your dog pain when it's walking. And do you really want to walk a dog when it's in pain? People who use this disgust me because there are so many other ways to teach dogs, regardless of the issue that your dog has. But this is called the remote collar, e-collar, or shock collar. And it's designed to give your dog a shock of static electricity if your dog does something you don't like. Now, a lot of people who like using shock collars say that using a shock collar doesn't damage a dog's neck. It doesn't cause the dog pain. It's just a little feeling of static electricity. Well, I can tell you that numerous studies have been done to show how dogs react to these kind of shock collars. And while some dogs might be able to take the static electricity that they get from a shock, many are so traumatized even by one experience of shock that it causes a lifetime of fear. I call this collar quick fix training, and because people love quick fixes, they don't want to put the time and effort that it takes to walk a dog. Where I can actually teach a dog to walk well on a leash, doesn't matter regardless of the dog, the size of the dog, or the issue, to walk well on a leash in about 10 minutes. I would rather take a little time to teach a dog how to walk well on a leash or to deal with the problem behavior than using and relying on something as inhumane as shocking my dog into complying. Most people who use these kind of things when training have no idea of the psychological negative impact it's having on their dog, because so many trainers use stuff like this and so many people validate their use. To me though, and to thousands of trainers like me and the best scientists and behaviorists in the United States and around the world, these contraptions are plain abuse. And so the best place for all of these is in the trash where they belong. So what are the solutions? You want to be able to walk your dog, but you're finding it too hard to teach your dog just on a regular collar and leash. Well, some of the solutions come in the form of harnesses. And you can use great harnesses for your dog that will actually prevent your dog from pulling while you're in the teaching process. Because at the end of the day, you want to be able to get to the point where you're walking your dog just on a regular collar and leash. I like these kind of harnesses. These kind of harnesses lead a dog by the chest. A leash is attached to a loop that centers on the chest area so that when the dog pulls, the dog's body comes round. The weight is distributed evenly around the body rather than just concentrated around the sensitive area of the neck. So you can use a harness like this in order to help walk your dog, in order to help control your dog, while you're also teaching your dog to walk well on a collar. Remember, when you're choosing a piece of equipment to help teach or walk your dog, make sure you do it positively.
Oh! You found it! Try 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? Oh, you're so smart.
More and more veterinary hospitals are offering physical therapy and rehabilitation to the services they have, and the results can be remarkable. Physical therapy is common in human medicine, and veterinary practitioners of animal therapy say the benefits for their patients are remarkable. So much so that a prescription for physical therapy may be the newest standard of care for pets. There are several reasons for this new wave in animal health. Dramatic advances in veterinary diagnostics and surgery demand rehabilitation therapy to help contribute to the post-operative success. Also, there's more participation in competitive sports, where animals can be injured and need a high level of care and rehabilitation.
We see injuries such as torn ligaments in the knee, osteoarthritis caused by extreme stress on joints, as well as repetitive trauma injuries in some of our athletes. Physical therapy and rehabilitation can really help these animals recover and perform better.
Another reason for PT and pets may hit a bit closer to home. The average age of our dogs and cats is increasing, and the benefit from age-related problems like arthritis, neurological conditions, and obesity can be dramatic. In fact, the response has been so favorable that physical therapy, when prescribed by a veterinarian, is even covered by pet health insurance. PT for pets is also more than exercises and stretching. Sophisticated devices, such as this underwater treadmill, help pets regain range of motion of sore joints without putting much weight on the joint. The interest in rehabilitation for animals is generating widespread excitement among veterinarians. The Western Veterinary Conference now has many sessions devoted to equine and canine physical therapy, and there's a strong effort to develop certification standards and a possible board certification.
Let's face it, we expect a lot from our animal athletes, and physical therapy and rehabilitation go a long way to preventing injuries and stress. I'm Dr. Jim Humphries reporting.